Good morning. How's everybody doing? My name is Specialist Morrow. Today I'm going to give you a presentation on the levels of leadership. At any time during this presentation, you need to use the restrooms. Restrooms are located right around this corner. At any time you need to exit, you have two exits. One to your left, one to your right. Please exit quietly. This class is unclassified. Please refrain all questions till the very end of this presentation. At any time after this presentation has concluded, you want more information on the levels of leadership, you may reference the Army Regulations 600-100. The purpose of this presentation is to give you a basic working knowledge and understanding of what these levels of leadership are. It's very important to understand what these levels of leadership are, what their responsibilities are, when they come together, how they come together, and when they do, how they help the Army become the organization that it is today. But before you can look into the levels of leadership, you have to look into what is a leader. Leadership is the process of influencing soldiers through direction, purpose, and motivation. And because of these leaders that's in the Army, they help make the Army so successful. Let's move into the levels of leadership. You have 3 levels of leadership. Your first level is direct leadership. And then you move into your second level of leadership, which is organizational leadership. Then you move into your third and highest and final level of leadership, strategic leadership. Each level of leadership depends on one another. They all have their own set of responsibilities. One level of leadership is not more important than the other. So let's go in. Let's talk about each level of leadership individually, see what they offer, what their responsibilities are, and how they help the Army become the organization that it is today. Let's talk about your very first level of leadership, direct leadership. This is your front line. This is the first level of leadership that soldiers will encounter when they join the military. This is also the level of leadership that soldiers will spend the majority of their careers in. This is your team leader, your squad leader, your platoon sergeant, all the way up to your battalion level of leadership. This level of leadership really focuses and harps on the face-to-face interaction. It is so important for this level of leadership to have face-to-face interaction. The face-to-face interaction is so important because it allows these leaders to really influence young soldiers. And because of this influence that they have over these soldiers, they're influencing better soldiers, future leaders. And because of this, it allows the Army in the future to become a better organization. This level of leadership also plans out their daily tasks, their missions, training events, a day, couple days, weeks, up to a month, up to a year in advance. This is also the level of leadership where you're going to find who you are, what kind of leader you are, what kind of leader you want to be. So this is a very important level of leadership because this is what develops the next 2 levels of leadership. Let's move on to your second level of leadership, which is your organizational leadership. Organizational leadership is your second level, is your battalion all the way up to the corps level. These leaders are in charge of hundreds to thousands of soldiers. These leaders influence units and soldiers through policies and resources. This level is heavily depends on the direct leadership because this level plans to execute. And the direct leadership executes those plans. This level of leadership usually plans out 1 to 5 years in advance. So that is really, really important. They allow units to come up with policies that will better make units, and that helps the Army become a better organization in the long run. Let's move into your third and final level of leadership. This is your strategic leadership. This is the highest and the most sophisticated level of leadership there is. This level consists of your division all the way up to the national level of leaders. This isn't just your military leaders. This is your civilian leaders, all the way up to the President of the United States. This level influences soldiers through regulations, programs. They make programs that allow soldiers to get the help they need, which helps the Army become a better organization. This level also plans 5 years and out. So they plan for new regulations to come out and stuff, so it allows the Army to think ahead, to allow them to be a better organization in the future. This level of leadership also works beside of politicians, other prominent nations. And because of this, they can learn different stuff that will in turn influence their leadership down to the lowest levels. This level of leadership is also in charge of thousands to hundreds of thousands of soldiers. And that is why this is the most sophisticated. Because when situations arise, they have to think of a solution like that. They are such critical thinkers. They have to have a basic knowledge and understanding of business management. Because that is basically what they're doing. They're basically running a business. And because of this, the Army is going to be a great organization for futures to come. So, let's talk about this. You have 3 levels: direct, organizational, and strategic. Each level complements the other. Each level is not more important than the other. Each level helps the Army become a better organization and in the future remain the best fighting force this nation has ever seen. So, that is the reason the Army is so successful, is because of what each level of leadership provides. Their responsibilities that they deliver to the Army. So your direct leadership is your front line. Your organizational leadership is your policies and your resources. Your strategic leadership is your regulations, your programs that you have available in today's Army. So because of all these working together is the reason the Army is so successful. So at any time, this concludes my presentation. Does anyone have any questions? Where can I go for more information? You can go to AR 600-100. What is the time frame each level plans for? That direct leadership plans a day to a year in advance. Organizational leadership, 1 to 5 years in advance. And strategic leadership, 5 years and up.